The following stories are inspired by documented paranormal encounters. Some locations and identities may have been changed to protect the people involved. These stories may be disturbing for younger audiences, and listener discretion is advised. This podcast is based on true events.
Hi, I'm Dalia, she, they.
Hey, I'm B, she, they.
Hi, I'm Brandon, he, him.
And this podcast is based on true events.
We have not failed a single one of those this
We have
session.
not. We've been doing really good this session.
Yes, something to celebrate. Okay, vibe checks. How are we feeling?
Fantastic. Really looking forward to this blunt I mentioned last episode.
My ass a little sweaty, but I'm good.
Is the
It's
swamp
a little
ass
hot in
sweaty
here.
or just a little sweaty?
Just a little.
Okay. All
Not
right.
I'm good. I'm
yet.
good. No, because like this room is definitely a little bit warmer than the rest of the house when we walk out because the windows
Yeah.
are open out there. We keep the window open in here, but cars and stuff and people like to really run past that speed bump out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
So
It's true.
I learned my mistake the first time. I don't go flying on them bumps no more.
no, yeah, for sure.
Vibe check for me. I'm also good. A little hot, but
Yeah, you are.
change.
No.
So yeah, a little hungry too. A
I'm
little, just a
Dahlia's
little
number
peckish.
one simp other than Brandon.
Was that you?
Other than Brandon.
I was gonna say number two, more like it actually.
He was so ready to come in and defend that title. Like, I think the fuck not.
I put in too much work for that title to be taken from me. Absolutely not.
I will
be-
happily accept second place.
Okay.
I would be offended if he didn't fight for that.
No, for
I
sure.
would too. I would be offended on your behalf.
Flabbergasted.
Okay, so did you both do your vibe checks already?
Yeah, I said I'm
pretty
ready.
good,
I'm
yeah.
ready for the blunt I mentioned last
Okay.
episode.
And we've got a
I'm
wedding
ready.
after this, so
gotta
we're
go.
hoping not for this to feel rushed, but we're gonna kind of rush a little bit. Just a
Get ready,
little
Yeah,
bit.
not
get ready for
really.
the speed
A little
show.
bit.
Here we go.
We're gonna try to
go.
not tangent as much today.
Okay, get ready.
We'll
get
save that for next episode.
Get set. Ding. Go.
All right. Are you guys ready for my story? I have two shorter stories today, so no intros each.
I am prepared.
All right. Well, this first one is... I'll just jump right into it, I guess, as Dalia likes to say. As told by the show Paranormal Survivor, I give you the story I call Ronnie. Chicopee, Michigan. Nope, that's not it. Try that again.
It's because your brain knows you're in a hurry.
Yeah, apparently.
We're not in a hurry.
I saw an M, and I was like, whoop.
Chicopee, Michigan.
All right. Chicopee, Massachusetts.
There we go.
Robert Johnson met Ronnie in the 9th grade, where they ended up being pretty good friends. Ronnie was a joker. If there was a party, he was the funniest guy there. Ronnie was also a keen boxer and a scrapper. Ronnie liked to fight outside of the ring as well.
Me too, Ronnie.
And he was usually the kind of guy who could handle himself. But one day, Ronnie was fighting this other kid, and Robert and the rest of his friends noticed that he was doubling over every time he got hit. When they ran up to him, they noticed that Ronnie was bleeding everywhere. The kid that Ronnie had been fighting with had a knife in between his fingers, so every time he had been punching Ronnie, he had actually been stabbing him.
Oh my
Damn.
god.
Ronnie did not make it. For Robert, his friend dying was a hard hit. He said, "At that age, you feel like you're going to live forever. And now here's this guy that we all looked up to bleeding out at our feet." 20 years later, Robert finds himself back in the town he grew up in due to a family emergency. His stepdad had developed cancer, and to make it easier on his mom, Robert decided to move closer to her. And he actually ended up renting his late friend Ronnie's mother's old house because it was directly across the street from his mother's house. While Robert had fond memories of the house, strange things started to happen not long after he moved in. One weekend, Robert's wife Tina Salvez, had come to visit, bringing her daughters with her. As they were sleeping in the room, Robert and his wife's bed started violently shaking in the middle of the night. Robert says it felt like if you had opened your eyes, you would have seen someone hitting or kicking the bed with all their strength. But there was nobody there. This would continue to occur every night, always at 3 a.m. on the dot. Tina was extremely uncomfortable in the house at night, And during the week, Robert would be in the house alone as his wife and daughters would go back to their main house to be closer to their work and school. Eventually, being woken up in the middle of the night every night starts to get to him, and Robert finds himself falling asleep on the couch one night after a really long shift at work. In the middle of the night, he woke up to a series of 3 loud bangs in the house. The first thing he noticed when he jolted awake was that the house was way darker than when he had passed out from exhaustion. The second thing he noticed is that he couldn't breathe. The house was completely filled with thick smoke. Realizing this, he immediately drops to the floor. From the floor, he is now able to see the light of flames engulfing the entire back area of the house, the area where the bedrooms were. Robert was able to crawl himself out of the house to safety, but lost everything he had brought with him as the fire completely engulfed the house. They were able to track the cause of the fire to a single faulty breaker in the house, and the inspector told Robert that if he had slept in his bedroom that night, then he would not have lived. Yeah. Due to just how fast the fire went up. Also, talking to his sister who had also known Ronnie, she thinks that the shaking of the bed every night was Ronnie's way of warning Robert, trying to get him out of the house, preparing him to be awake at that right time. With nowhere to stay after that, Robert moved in with Tina, but the nightly wake-up calls would continue. They started waking up to hear the doorknobs on their closed bedroom doors rattling as if someone was desperately trying to get in, but when they would open the bedroom door, nobody was there and the rattling would stop. Not long after that, they would once again start to be woken up by their bed shaking in the middle of the night. But this time, Tina reports that when the shaking would wake her up, she would see a large black shadow figure standing in the corner of the room. This shadow, Tina says, always gave off the scariest vibes to her. They would start seeing full shadows move from one room to the other. Not even out of the corner of their eyes either. They would see these shadows walk by right in front of them in the middle of the day.
Damn.
One night, while they were eating dinner, the family hears a loud thud before watching Robert's fork fly out of his bowl of pasta. And things just kept getting worse. One night while sleeping, Robert was jolted awake by the feeling of getting punched in the face. It was so forceful that he actually felt his whole head move backwards into the pillow.
Damn.
And when checking in the mirror, he saw a red mark where he had felt the punch strike him. Robert and Tina decided that things had finally become too much and decided to reach out to Jack Kenna and his team of paranormal investigators. The team was able to catch a lot of different data during the investigation. A female voice, the voice of a young child, and a male voice were all caught on tape. They would keep getting readings in a room they weren't in, only to go into that room and start getting readings in the room that they had just been in and hadn't received anything in. Almost like it was, whatever this was playing a game with them, was messing with them, right? Jack Kenna at one point does a meditation session and sees a vision of a man who Robert confirmed matched the description of his late friend Ronnie to a T. Even going as far as correctly identifying the clothes that Ronnie was murdered in.
Oh.
Jack believes that Ronnie was trying to communicate with Robert by using physical force, similar to how they used to fight with each other when they were younger. The next morning, Jack does a clearing of the house, asking any negative entities to leave, but specifically saying that Ronnie could stay as per Robert's request. Tina says that after the cleansing, the feeling of heaviness in the house seemed to be lifted. Robert thinks that Ronnie is still with him, keeping him safe from any negativity and craziness that may come. And again, a shorter one, but that's that story.
Lord have
Ronnie.
mercy. Fucking Friends.
Yeah.
Love them.
It's like a guardian angel almost.
Feels like it, yeah. So I got a couple pictures. Nothing too much. This first one is of... crap, I forgot his name. Robert and Tina. So it's a double picture. And then the second picture I'm going to send is of the description they showed of what Tina would see in the middle of the night when they would wake up to the bed shaking.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, fuck that.
All right.
Again, you're getting shot.
Fucking...
I'm gonna shoot the wall, but you're getting shot.
But I'm gonna shoot the wall, but I am shooting. Let that be known.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys ready for my second story today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again, a couple short ones, but a couple good ones, I think. I really
Yeah.
like that. Do you guys have anything to say about that last one? I love the fact that, like, he was warning him about that house.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that must have, despite losing his house and his belongings
And everything, yeah.
that must have felt nice to know someone was looking out for him.
No, yeah.
Oh,
It'd feel insane to me,
Mhm.
like, for sure. Okay. I think you guys are really going to like this next one. B, I think you specifically will like this next one.
Bet.
All right. So, for my next story, this one is from a show called Celebrity Ghost Stories.
I already love it.
Yeah. I've titled this one The Oak Room.
Perfect.
For 6 seasons, Charles Shaughnessy starred in the hit sitcom The Nanny as Maxwell Sheffield. For about as long as he can remember, Charles would go on yearly vacations with his family down to the home of his aunt and uncle in Cornwall, England.
Ooh, woo.
It was this beautiful, huge, old Elizabethan manor house built in about 1592. An authentic castle with a lot of original buildings still intact. He says he and his brother were always a little scared going down there. Battle axes, crossed swords over shields, and suits of armor in the halls. It was just a really creepy place to them. Charles remembers an incident when he was 12 and his brother David was 10. There was one particular room down a corridor with a big oak door. It was always locked, and the young boys were explicitly forbidden from going inside. After asking his parents about it, he was told it was called the Oak Room, and that it was apparently haunted. His mother even told a story about how when they used to try and all have drinks in that room, not long after sitting down, the lights would start flickering, the books would fly off of the bookshelves, glasses would shoot off across the table and shatter, or from the table and shatter, and so when it became clear that the room wouldn't be able to be used like they wanted to, the aunt and uncle just shut the door and locked it. No one's allowed in there now. Well, for Charles, this room then became like some sort of a fascination for him. After talking to his cousin Julian, who had also heard about the room from his parents, the pair devised a plan to get into it. The cousin was able to get a hold of the key to the Oak Room one night, along with a couple cigarettes for them to smoke in up the chimney in the room. Because they're just so cool.
Yep.
So Charles grabbed his flashlight and dragged his brother David along somewhat unwillingly with him. I can only imagine how exhilarated they felt as they snuck through the corridors of this old castle, the faint sounds of the adults having their after-dinner coffee in a far-off room. When they arrived at the Oak Room, the trio of boys had one last moment of, do we really want to do this? Before unlocking and sliding open the big oak door. They decided to close and lock the door behind them so it'd be harder for them to get caught before turning the flashlight on and looking around the room. In the room, they see chairs, desks, books, nothing really out of the ordinary compared to the rest of the place. But as Charles points the beam of the flashlight upwards over the fireplace, they all see the portrait of a, quote, rather severe-looking old man. Charles estimates the painting to maybe about be 200 years old. Old painting. The man in the portrait almost seems like he was looking right at them, and no matter where in the room they were, his eyes always looked like they were watching them. It made a chill go down their spines. Finally, after a bit of thankfully uneventful exploring, Julian finally pulls out the cigarettes and beckons Charles over to the chimney with him. They were just wanting to smoke their cigarettes and get out of there as fast as they could. Charles takes a match and lights it, but as he's leaning in to light the cigarette, the match explodes like a small firework in his hand and immediately goes out.
Damn.
Before they can even begin to figure out what just happened, something flies across the room right by Charles' head and smashes on a wall beside them. The flashlight that they had actually set on a table nearby before they went to light the cigarettes now starts wobbling in place for no apparent reason, before flying off of the desk it was on and landing across the room. The trio have had enough and scramble out of the door to the room just as all their parents come up the stairs nearby.
Damn, busted.
While the parents were trying to chastise them for being in a room they were explicitly told not to be in, the boys were too busy freaking out about what they had just witnessed to really care much. And while they were in trouble for not obeying, Charles's aunt and uncle finally decided that they had to do something about this room, right? That they just couldn't keep ignoring it any longer.
I mean, it's one room. I would. Sorry.
They did some asking around about the portrait on the wall and eventually went to the church to find the records of the property. They find out that the guy in the portrait was a landowner that used to live in the house. He was a very tall, very large guy and a bully. Just completely terrorizing the locals 2 centuries ago. Well, one night, someone had finally had enough of him and beat him to death with a heavy metal candlestick in that room.
Holy
Damn.
shit.
And that was why all this energy seemed to be localized in the oak room. About a week later, Charles says a priest visited the property and the adults led him up to the oak room, making sure to tell the younger boys to stay downstairs. After a little bit, the boys start hearing murmuring from the room in Latin. This piques their interest, and Julian convinces them to sneak around until they're right outside the oak room so they can listen. Looking through the keyhole, Charles sees the adults sitting in a circle in chairs as the priest walks around the room, talking in Latin and sprinkling holy water. After a few minutes, Charles becomes aware of the sound of rumbling and wind coming from inside the room. He describes it almost like the sound of a train. And as he watches the adults, they're holding hands. He watches them hold hands and the priest shout incantations. The sound suddenly grows into a terrifying roar. As the roar reaches its peak, Charles says they could feel something leave the room before silence falls. The boys sneak away before the adults leave the room, and going back up to the room, and then after the coast is clear, they go back up to the room and notice that the door to the oak room was left wide open. After that day, the family started to use the room again without incident. However, for whatever reason, they decided to keep the portrait of the old man hanging right above that fireplace.
You know, and it's funny. That was my question from the start, if they're not related to this guy, why the fuck is his picture still up, first of all?
That's weird.
And then you get rid of all of the bad energy and then, you know, all that shit has gone out and you still keep the fucking portrait?
Well, they're British, so like...
History.
Well,
Isn't it?
Sorry.
It's normal to just have portraits of fucking old dudes that you don't know in your house?
In England, I assume so, yeah. That's the vibe I get, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But also, it's like... It feels more like, because they kind of own a castle. It feels more like a status symbol at this point, right?
Okay.
Like, look at this old ass picture we have of this old guy. We all know what it's from.
That's okay.
No,
This guy
because
used
for
to live
me,
here.
that
Okay.
would have been the
All right.
first thing that had been gone to see if that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's getting burned.
Especially if you know it's localized specifically to that room. Maybe we get rid of the painting.
Yeah.
But then again, if the thing's gone, like, if it's cool enough,
Why
looking,
would you want it?
I don't know. Oh. And who knows? Maybe they were related to him. We don't know. Like,
I
he
hope
never
so,
said.
because that feels kind of weird.
Feels weird. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a picture of the guy that was murdered in our house.
Ain't it
Ain't
he
it
wasn't
neat?
really likable, apparently.
Okay, but
so-
like, I know a few people. Off the top of my head, I know a few people who would keep something like that. Like, here's an old guy that was murdered in this room.
He was a dick.
He's a dick.
Oh my god.
Look at him.
You know what? Okay, when you put it like that,
That's kind of funny.
when you put it like that,
Yeah, I kind of want it.
I could see the appeal.
Yeah. See? All right, I've got a few pictures for you this time. This first one is of Charles Shaughnessy. Both on the left, it's how he looks nowadays. On the right, it's how he looked during the Nanny, filming of the Nanny.
Oh, okay.
Which, Dalia, have you ever seen the Nanny?
No, I know of it because of the lady.
Love that
Nanny.
show.
I know
Oh,
she's a
it's so
fashion
good.
icon. I know that.
No, so
I was
an
pretty
icon in
sheltered,
general.
so I didn't really. I had like 3 shows.
So if you follow us on TikTok, you'll have or even Instagram, you'll have seen a video I posted of how I pick what episodes I do, and it's a bunch of dice rolling and wheel spinning to find the show. And so when this one came up and that was rolled, I was like, I don't know these names. And then he came up and was like, I know this motherfucker. I love the Nanny. All right, this next
Sheffield.
Mr. Sheffield. Like, love the Nanny. Such a good show. This next one is a picture of Charles and his brother David at around the ages that this would have taken place.
Oh,
Oh, babies.
Bye-byes.
little babies. Definitely British babies, but babies.
Definitely British babies.
Yep. That after dinner coffee definitely had a little something something in it. Looking at how old that picture is, it has something in it.
And then this last photo is I googled Cornwall, England castle built in what was it 1592 or whatever, that the year I said, and this is the picture that came up. And so this is how I imagine.
Ooh, that's
like,
gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Castles are beautiful. Like
I love castles.
the architecture in the UK and everything is gorgeous.
Remember when I said if I win the lottery, I'm disappearing?
I'm
You're going to
disappearing
find me
to this.
somewhere like that.
Right.
You're going to find me in Ireland somewhere in something that looks like that.
Which, valid. Send us a postcard, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe.
please.
Of that, maybe.
You'll get a silly band.
Well, that's what I got today. I decided to go. I thought these stories were a little bit lighter than my usual things I do.
Significantly,
yeah.
Usually after your stories, I'm sat here for a bit while y'all talk, trying to gather myself and figure out what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I would love more of the celebrity stories. I like that.
No, yeah, I'm definitely going to continue that in the rotation for sure.
Jinx.
Yeah. All right,
Are you
Dalia.
ready?
I already know what Dalia has for us.
This is actually recommended to me by Brandon.
Yeah.
But so this is a lot different from what I usually do, and bear with me. I'm really nervous. I want to do this justice. It's pretty big and it's pretty cool. Sad but cool, and weird but cool.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this allegedly true encounter actually originally comes from a website called Nichan, or 2chan, Nichan. See, I'm gonna keep doing that.
Right.
Seems to be sort of similar to Reddit, from what I understand. It's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon actually, like I said, recommended this Koabana website to me, where Tara A. Devlin translates posts made on Nichan.
And I would also like to say she's an author, and so she has books of these translations too, as well as like a podcast of her own that I listen to it's bi-weekly episodes. Love Tara A. Devlin. Really excited for this.
Sweet.
So hopefully I can do this justice. Tara has this translation titled Kisaragi Station, and it is actually a pretty famous urban legend, but it is regarded by some as having truth to it. So let's get into it, and the translation is as follows. She starts off, she says, the following story was posted on the 2chan forums in real time. The original poster, who went by the name Hasumi, kept readers up to date on her strange experience as it was happening, and received advice from them as to what to do. The following is what happened, so she is posting and they are replying. Okay, so it's going to read a little bit differently than my usual stories.
Okay.
Hosumi posts, it might just be my imagination, but do you mind if I talk about something? 2chan replies, sure, go ahead. What happened? Hosumi says, I just got on the train, but something's off. Okay. It's the train I always take to and from work, but it hasn't stopped at any stations for about 20 minutes now. It always stops every 5 minutes, or at most every 7 or 8, but it hasn't stopped at all. There are currently 5 other people on board, but they're all asleep. You haven't gotten off the train yet, have you? You didn't get on the express by mistake? Asks 2chan. Hosumi replies, yeah, like you said, it's possible I got on the wrong train. I'll wait it out just a little longer. If anything else weird happens, I'll come back again. 2chan says, first of all, why don't you go to the front carriage and see the conductor? If he had an epileptic fit or something, that would be terrible. Go and check on him. Hosumi says, it still doesn't look like we're going to stop anywhere, so I'll go and have a look. The blinds or something are covering the window, so I can't see the driver. I'm on a private railway in the Shizuoka Prefecture. 2chan says, did you knock on the window? Hosumi says, I did, but there was no answer. 2chan says, can you see outside? Can you see the names of passing stations or anything? After leaving the tunnel, the train has started to slow down a little. We don't usually pass through a tunnel though. It's the train from Shin Hamanatsu Station. It looks like we're about to stop. You're not gonna get off, are you? We're stopping at Kisaragi Station, but I wonder if I should get off. I've never seen or heard of this station before. You should get off. No, you should stay until the last. These are multiple people, okay? And someone else said, no, you should stay on until the last stop. I mean, the train should have started moving again by now, shouldn't it? Hasumi, what time did you get on the train? Hasumi says, I got off. The station is empty. I got on the train around 11:40 p.m., I think. 2chan says, a commenter on there, I did a search for Kisaragi Station, but nothing came up. And, hang on, your train's been running for an hour now? Alright, I'm off to take a bath. Someone else said, I looked for Kisaragi Station as well, but there's nothing here. Hasumi replies, I think I should go back. I've been looking for a timetable, but I can't find anything. The train is still stopped, so I wonder if it'd be safer just to get back on. Well, while I was writing that, I actually got back on board. 2chan says, are there any buildings nearby that look like they might have people? It's cold out there, so be careful. Hasumi says, I'm gonna have to leave the station and see if I can find a taxi. Thanks. That's a good idea. Be careful. I'm doubtful that you'll easily be able to find a taxi at an empty station after the last trains have already run. And someone else said, it looks like Hasumi's become a resident of the 2D world. Hasumi says, there's nothing here, let alone a taxi. What should I do? 2chan responds, go see the station attendant or a nearby police box. Shouldn't you call 110 for now? Which is obviously 911 for Japan. Why don't you call the taxi company? These are all multiple comments still. Yep. All you can do at this point is to go to the nearest convenience store. And someone else says, if there's a public phone nearby, you should look up the number of the tax company and give them a call. Hasumi says, I'll call my parents to come and pick me up. I call my parents to come pick me up, but they don't know where Kisaragi Station is. They said they'd look it up on the map and then come get me, but I'm kind of scared. 2chan says, what happened to the others on the train? Were you the only one who got off? Hasumi, I also tried to find Kisaragi Station on the internet, but there's nothing here. You said you were near the Shin Hamamatsu area, right? I'll see if I can find anything on Yahoo. Hasumi says, I went to look for a public phone, but there aren't any. The other passengers didn't get off, so I'm alone right now. The station name is most definitely Kisaragi Station. 2chan says, there's a chance you'll find a public phone off of the station grounds. Why don't you try leaving the station? I just did a bit of investigating right now, and the kanji for Oni, demon, can also be read as Kisaragi, right? So you mean demon station. That's terrifying. Are you a video game nerd? When I googled it, I found a video game. Write down the previous and next stations from Kisaragi Station. Don't say there's nothing written there. Hasumi responds to these by saying, what game are you talking about? There are no previous or next stations written here. 2chan says, try walking back home along the tracks. If you start running now, you can probably catch up with the train. It's a station, so there has to be people living around there. Hasumi says, yeah, that's right. I was panicking, so I didn't even notice. I'll follow the tracks back and wait for my parents to call. I tried looking before in the town information part of iMode on my phone, but it came up with some kind of error. I just want to go home. 2chan says, whether it's a joke or not, I'm going to work towards solving this seriously. Hasumi says, there really is nothing around here. All I can see are grasslands and mountains, but if I follow the railway tracks, I think I can get home, so I'll do my best. Thank you. You might think it's all just one big joke, but can I come back if I run into any other problems? 2chan, of course, says, of course. At any rate, take care. Of course, just be careful your phone doesn't die. It's your lifeline right now. Don't start walking in the wrong direction, and be careful inside the tunnel. Can a phone even get reception in an area with nothing around? I think it would be better if you don't move from the station. All alone at an unmanned station on a cold night. The lights will probably turn off soon and it'll be dark. The railway tracks are even a darker trap. There's a tunnel after that too, right? And yet, it would probably be safer to spend the night at the station. This is terribly risky. Hasumi says, my father called. He had a lot of questions, but in the end we have no idea where I am, so he told me to call 110. I don't really want to, but I'm going to give the police a call and see if they can help me. Tu-Chan says, I think it would be easier for you to move around once it gets brighter. Could you really wait there all alone at night, in some strange, unfamiliar place? Could you pass through the tunnel all alone at night, on some strange, unfamiliar railway track? So, could you keep walking through some unfamiliar street at night in the cold? Everybody's clearly concerned for her.
Yeah.
Hasumi says, I tried explaining my situation the best I could to the police, but they thought it was a joke and got angry at me. I was so scared that I ended up apologizing to them. Tu-Chan says, why did you apologize? You should call it a night. Go wait at the station for the first train. What's it like around the station? Is anything there? Hasumi says, I can hear what sounds like the beating of drums coming from far away, mixed with the sound of a ringing bell. Honestly, I don't know what I should do anymore. Tu-Chan replies, Hasumi, you need to go back to the station. It's best to return to where you were in the first place when you got lost. Someone else said, it's about to start. Drums and bells? It's probably just a festival. Hasumi says, you might think I'm lying, but I'm so scared. I can't look back. I want to go back to the station, but I can't turn back. Tu-Chan says, run. Whatever you do, don't look back. Someone else said, you can't look back at the station. You'll be taken away. Just run towards the tunnel right now. It should be closer than you think. Interesting replies, I think. Hasumi says, someone just yelled up from behind me. Hey, you can't walk along that railway track. It's dangerous. I thought it might be a station attendant, so I turned around, and about 10 meters away, there was this old guy with one leg standing there. Then he disappeared. I'm so scared I can't move. Tu-Chan says, I said don't look back, just run. Calm down and listen to what I have to say. Try going towards the sound of the drums. There should be people there. Just where are you trying to send Hasumi? That's not it at all. Hasumi is about to be taken away. That's why I am saying if she can, she should not go back. How come you can tell it was an old guy with just one leg? Because it's just some old guy with one leg? Looks like they're arguing in the comments. It's probably some guy that was hit by a train and lost his leg and then died, someone said. Hasumi says, I can't walk anymore, but I also can't run. The sound of drums is getting closer. Tu-Chan says, just wait for morning. Once it gets brighter, it won't be so scary. Someone else said, you should have just gotten back on the train. Hasumi said, I'm still alive. I fell over and I'm bleeding, but I'm still holding on to the heel I broke. I don't want to die yet. Tu-Chan says, well, it's not like things were going to get better if you stayed in the one spot anyway. I think you'll be fine if you can get through the tunnel anyhow. When you pass through, let us know and get some help. Hasumi says, I called home. My dad said he'd call the police for me, but the sound is getting closer and closer. Tu-Chan says, well, let's just pray the sound isn't the sound of an approaching train. Having said that, it's probably too late for that now. Hasumi says, I did my best, and I'm somehow in front of the tunnel now. The name says Isanuki. The sound is getting closer, so I'm going to gather up all my courage and try to get through. I'll post again once I get through safely. Tu-Chan says, good luck. And then another comment, which I don't appreciate, says, this is the end. The train and the station are gone. You can't go back. There is no one to follow. The sound you hear is a phantom of your own past. Run towards the tunnel. If you stop, you'll be stuck between worlds. Okay. Hasumi says, I've exited the tunnel. Someone's standing ahead of me. Looks like doing what you guys suggested was the right answer. Thank you. I'm probably gonna be mistaken for a monster. My face is a mess of tears. Tu-Chan says, Hasumi, wait, don't move. Stop, it's dangerous. Who would be standing there at such a time? It's too suspicious. Hasumi says, sorry for making you all worry. The person was very kind and said they would take me to the closest station. Apparently, there's a business hotel or something there. Everyone, thank you so much. Tu-Chan says, Hasumi, there's something I want to ask you, so please answer. Where are you? Can you ask the kind person the place name? Are they really kind? They could be scarier than what's going on here, you know. Yeah, maybe. Anywhere. Where the hell are you? That person is dangerous. Why is someone on the railway tracks at this time of night? They must have run into you while disposing of a dead body or something. Run! Hosumi says, I asked where we are, but he just said, Hina. There's no way that could be true, though. Two-chan says, Hosumi, get out of the car. I'm sorry, Kasumi, where is Hina? Someone called her Kasumi. Her name is Hosumi. What a strange story. So at this particular time, some suspicious old guy just happened to be there to pick up a girl walking along the railway tracks? What was he doing? Hosumi says, we've started getting closer to the mountains now. I don't think there's anywhere for the car to stop. And he stopped talking to me entirely. Two-chan says, there's no reason for even a strange old dude to be up at this time. Maybe he's not talking to you anymore because you're always on your phone? Hosumi, you're in danger. Did you tell your parents to come to get you from the tunnel? Hosumi, call 110. This might be the last time you ever write anything. Hosumi said, my battery's about to die. Things are looking strange, so I'm going to run the first chance I get. He's been muttering about something I can't understand for a while now. Just so I'm ready when needs be, I'm going to make this my last post for now. After this post, Hosumi was never heard from again.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So what do you take from that, B?
It feels very backrooms.
Very much so, yeah.
It feels very backrooms, but train station. And like you've said in the past, when it comes to Japanese ghosts, I don't fuck with them. They win. So however the hell she ended up where she ended up, damn, it's my bad, bro.
Like, it's a situation that freaks me out thinking about it.
Yeah.
Especially just the different things that are happening. It's like, it feels like some kind of impending danger. I also don't really care for the people who are commenting that are obviously just trying to scare her and like joking around the comments.
Dicks.
But
they may have thought she was trolling, and so they were trolling back.
Like, that's possible, sure.
But yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's such a weird and like freaky situation to find yourself in, you know?
Right.
I really like that one. I've always really liked that story.
So for the first photo, I have the photo provided by Kawabana.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just train tracks. Obviously very fitting for the story. And for the second one, it's a screen cap of the film Kisaragi Station based on this allegedly true encounter / urban legend. The film was made in 2022.
Still pretty new. Okay.
Yeah, it depicted would be Hosumi running towards the stranger and his vehicle.
I see.
In the movie, I believe her name is Haruna, though. Yeah. So I'm also going to show the cover of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not rated very well.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Look closely at the cover.
Yeah, I see.
Next to her reflection.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I love Japanese like ghost stories and stuff, and Kawabana is a great source for that. If you need a podcast full of that, Kawabana, and also the website that we get this off of is kawabana.net, correct?
I believe that's correct. Yeah, I hope I did it a little bit of justice, because this is the first time I've read something that was formatted in such a way.
No, yeah, I thought you did well.
I appreciate that.
I liked it.
Yeah. So creepy shit. I think it's one of the first times that I've made the air all silent and heavy.
It's a real like thinker, because you're just like, it feels like you're in this situation with her, like wondering like what's she gonna do, what's going next, and then just nothing more.
Yeah,
there's no closure. She
No.
didn't get back online to confirm
We
that
don't
she was
know.
all right.
Yeah,
But
just
she
never heard from again.
Yep. Which leads you to assume the worst, because you'd think eventually, even after a couple years, she'd come back and be like, "Hey,
By the way, I'm
sorry
safe,
guys.
yeah.
By the way, I'm totally safe. I just forgot to update you on what happened because it was a crazy night. Blah 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 blah." But or maybe she went to another universe, like not universe, parallel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she was in a different fucking time.
Right,
it's
and
the back rooms. They got her.
And the thing is, like, no, like, Kisaragi Station is not the only one that she mentioned that was like, yeah, I can't find that anywhere. She mentioned like 3 different ones, and not a single one people were like, yeah, I recognize that one, you know?
Right. So it was almost like a different plane of existence or something.
That's how it reads to me, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Backrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, B, what do you got for us?
Yeah, let's do it.
I have a story about a teacher. And we love teachers.
We do love teachers.
We love teachers.
We love teachers.
I used to be a teacher.
You did?
That's why I say we love teachers. OP has titled this story, "My 4th grade students asked management to make me their teacher again. I cried."
Oh.
I'll be moving to a new grade this year, and while I'm excited for the challenge, I'm also a little heartbroken. This was my 2nd year teaching 4th grade, and I truly bonded with my students in a way I never expected. I made it my mission to really see them and learn who they are beyond the classroom, and they let me in. I've come to realize that students are receptive when you see them for who they are, looking beyond their behavior and their past. I felt so honored that my class respected me and allowed me to teach to the best of my ability. And there were ups and downs, as it will never be perfect, but we learned from our mistakes and we moved on. Some of the students and I connected over anime, others performed K-pop songs in front of the class. I had gamers who proudly showed me their Roblox gardens. Some students told me about their dreams and what they wanted to become, and I was always there to listen and to make sure they understood that their feelings, opinions, and their aspirations were valid. Now, I'm being moved to 5th grade, but I won't be getting my old class. I was holding it together until a few of them said, "Well, we'll just go to the office and ask them to put us in your class." I humored them. I just didn't expect them to actually do it. They listed off the reasons why I was the best teacher, and every reason was backed up by evidence. My students touched me so much. As a teacher, I put a lot of effort into learning activities, class decor, and how I teach, ensuring that I cater to the needs of my students. I try to make learning fun while also ensuring that the educational targets are met. I want my students to be happy and eager to learn when they're at school. And sometimes I'm told that I invest too much money, and there are days where I feel like I'm at my wit's end. But I've learned, even if it's a bit unrealistic, that it is worth it. These kids gave me hope for the future, and they affirmed that I'm doing a good job, even when I think I'm not. Teaching is such a difficult profession, and as someone who works so hard with little payout, I always feel so demotivated when people bash the job, knowing I work so hard. As the new school year approaches, I am hopeful, but I just felt a little sad and sentimental thinking about my old kiddies. To any other teachers out there who've had to say goodbye to that very special class of yours, I feel you so much right now. There is an edit, however.
Oh?
She only got 8 out of 24 students.
Oh.
I am sad to hear that.
Yeah.
But I know, not specifically the teacher-wise, but getting that validation.
Oh, for sure.
When you bust your ass.
Yes, is such a great feeling.
That made me really emotional.
Yeah.
I can relate to that so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's
Now you know how I feel when he's talking about fucking baby ghosts over here.
Sorry.
Baby demons.
Sorry.
Kids crying at 3 a.m.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
As for the picture, so my favorite teacher was Mrs. Toman when I was in high school. She was my biology 2 and my AP biology teacher. Fucking loved her. She had this sign in her classroom that I thought was the funniest fucking thing ever. I didn't take this picture in her classroom. I found it on the internet, but it was this exact little thingy.
Okay.
It's the funniest thing ever. And to those who can't see the picture, it's a meme that says, "Bacteria, the only culture some people have."
That's funny as shit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's cute.
That's why I specified she was my biology teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was good. I like that one. That was really touching. That was really cute.
Yeah. See, I told you I switched it up a little bit this time.
Yeah.
Not everything's about getting gas on the side of the highway. You have no idea how many of those stories I pass every single time I'm hunting.
Gas is important.
Very.
People need
and
need it.
expensive.
Very.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
No, so like I can understand that being a good majority of, hey, they helped me and that was awesome stories, you know?
Yep.
Cause damn.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening today. We hope you enjoyed. I know I did. You can find us on socials at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Blue Sky, but not Twitter because...
Fuck Twitter!
Fuck Twitter. You can also You can email us with your own personal true paranormal stories at TPIBOTE@outlook.com. If they are true paranormal stories, put in the subject line they are for Dalia, no H. And if they are wholesome stories, which you can also send us, you can put in the subject that they are for B, 2 E's. And yeah, you may hear them on a future episode. So yeah, send them in. We'd love to hear them. But once again, thank you guys for listening. Me and Dalia got to head to a wedding. But, as always...
Not ours, unfortunately.
Not ours yet, unfortunately. But as always, this podcast was based on true events.